Hi everyone, greetings to all who have joined today. So this is just a short webinar just to give you an insight on some of the burning topics that is very much relevant during these times. So to be exact, we will be covering three main topics. Those are first starting with your digital identity and how you can protect it, then about the cybersecurity measures that are taken in UAE, and the ethics of digital learning. So let's get started. Before I move on, I request everyone, if you have any queries, you can use the chat box. Please do not unmute in between the session. I hope you can see the screen. Okay. So, digital security. The COVID-19 outbreak has thrown the world into chaos, reinforcing at the same time just how reliant we all have become in digital world. So let's start with digital identity. Got an email account or social media profile? Well, then, congrats, you already got a digital identity. So, once someone has hold of your digital identity, the opportunities for them to scam you using this information is endless. A thief can use your data to open new credit accounts in your name or commit criminal activities using your identity to mask their own. Your digital identity can also be sold on to others. So, after all this being said, how can we protect our digital identity? First, use a variety of strong and hard to guess passwords. If you struggle to remember them, then you can use a password manager. Keep an eye on any requests to reset passwords on your accounts and change them regularly in case they leak without your knowledge. Next point is make sure you always update your operating systems, your browsing settings, and apps on all your devices. So, this will ensure that you are protected by the very latest security patches from these companies at all times. Next, avoid using public Wi Fi on any of your devices. If you have no choice, then you should always be doing so by using a VPN to ensure all your online activities. What VPN does is that it encrypts your internet traffic and disguises your online identity. So encrypt basically means that it will convert your information or data into codes, especially to prevent unauthorized access. So this makes it more difficult for third parties to track your activities online or to steal your data. Next, make sure you check your credit report often and make note of any changes, no matter how small. If you don't recognize something, then the faster you identify it, the more likely it is more possible to be rectified. So these were some of the points in which you can protect your digital identity. If you have any queries, you can mention it in the chat. Now we are moving on to the second part, which is the cyber security in UAE. So cyber safety and digital security are really serious issues in UAE. So here are some of the policies how UAE is protecting its citizens and residents in this particular field and reinforcing digital trust. The UAE Cyber Security Council. In November 2020, the UAE cabinet agreed to establish the UAE Cybersecurity Council with the aim of developing a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy to create a safe and strong cyber infrastructure in UAE. Next, we have the Digital Wellbeing Support Line. 80091 is the UAE's Digital Wellbeing Support Line, which is the first initiative of the Digital Wellbeing Council. The support line provides professional advice from dedicated experts for all the members of your family on practical daily life situations that we are most likely to face on in the digital world. Next, how they maintain digital security is by through the UAE Pass app and the Emirates ID. So what this UAE Pass app is, it is the first national digital identity and signature solution that enables the users to identify themselves to government service providers in all Emirates through a smartphone-based authentication. So it enables users to sign documents digitally with a high level of security. Next is child digital safety. So the Ministry of Interior and the National Program for Happiness and Wellbeing launched the Child Digital Safety Initiative in March 2018. It is a joint effort to raise awareness among the children and school students about potential online threats and challenges and promote a safe and constructive use of the internet. The initiative also familiarizes parents and educators with solutions which they can use to address these challenges and ensure the safety of their children and students. So in total, these were some of the initiatives that were taken by the UAE government for cybersecurity. Now we are moving on to the third part of today's webinar, which is ethics of digital learning. Online learning, as we all know, can be very distracting. There are certain ethics that you can follow during online learning, which will help you to concentrate and stay dedicated online throughout the class. So here are some of the tips that can come in handy. First, treat an online course like a real course. So when it comes to online classes, you need to have the discipline to sit down and say, I am going to work on this, as well as the dedication to actually follow through. Next, hold yourself accountable. Set goals at the beginning of the semesters and check in with yourself weekly. In a traditional classroom setting, you'll often receive verbal or visual reminders by the teachers for any assignments that is upcoming, that has upcoming due dates. But without a teacher actively reminding us, it's up to us that we make sure that we have allotted enough time to complete the work so that we are not starting on the exact day of the deadline, or before it's due. Next is practice time management. The flexibility to create your own schedule is often one of the biggest appeals of taking online classes. But that freedom can also be detrimental if you do not have a solid time management skills. Create a regular study space and stay organized. Set up a dedicated learning environment for studying. By completing your work there repeatedly, you'll begin to establish a routine. Next, eliminate distractions. Consider turning your cell phones off to avoid losing focus every time a text message pops up or a notification pops up. And if you're still having trouble resisting the temptation to check your mail or surf the web, try downloading a website blocker. This can help eliminate distractions by blocking the apps or websites that tend to compete for your attention, such as Facebook and Twitter. Next, actively participate. Participate in the online classes so it will help us understand better and engage with our fellow classmates. This might involve commenting on our classmates' work or posting a question about a project that you're working on. So read what other students and your teachers are saying, and if you have any question, ask for clarification. So this was our third part. If you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat. And so this was about some of the ethics you could follow using during digital learning or online classes. So we all know digital tools and technology can be very useful, though they come with their own unique challenges. But following the advice that I mentioned in this PPT, I hope it helps you, and it will help you become more successful even in the most chaotic of times. So thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. I hope you could learn new points, and or I could remind you of some of the points that you could use to help yourself protect your digital identity and help yourself during online classes. So once again, thank you all for joining. So we all can leave now. Thank you. Bye.